The Annamite Mountains stretch along the border of Vietnam and Laos. This ancient, mist-covered jungle remains largely unmapped because the terrain is nearly impenetrable. But the indigenous communities living around these forests have known exactly what was hiding inside them for generations. Their oral traditions frequently mention a large, dark brown bovine animal with a painted white face. It carried two straight, perfectly parallel horns that were so distinct, the locals named the creature Sala, which translates to spinning wheel posts. To the people of the Annamites, the Sala was entirely real. It was simply a quiet neighbor sharing the forest, documented only in local stories and sightings, while the rest of the world remained unaware. That isolation held until 1992, when a joint team from the World Wildlife Fund and Vietnam's Ministry of Forestry arrived to conduct a routine biodiversity survey. Near the edge of the Vu Quang Nature Reserve, they examined a collection of skulls kept in a local hunter's home. 3 of them possessed those long, straight, parallel horns from the local stories. When the scientists took the measurements back to Hanoi, the analysis confirmed a completely new genus and species of mammal. This chart shows the discrepancy between typical modern discoveries and the Sala. Most species found in the late 20th century were insects or small amphibians. The Sala stands 90 centimeters tall at the shoulder and weighs up to 100 kilograms. The global press immediately gave the newly discovered animal a nickname, the Asian unicorn. The nickname highlighted the era of the discovery. Finding a mammal the size of a large deer in 1992 was a significant event. It was the first large mammal species identified by science in over 50 years. Yet, discovering the Sala on paper has not translated into finding it in the wild. In the 3 decades since those skulls were analyzed, no wildlife biologist has ever successfully tracked and observed a living Sala in its natural habitat. A handful of individuals were briefly captured alive by local villagers in the 1990s, but the animals proved unable to survive outside their specific forest conditions and died within weeks. All remaining data relies on a tiny, fragile collection of evidence: DNA analysis of hair and feces found on the forest floor, and grainy, motion-activated trail cameras. And the most alarming piece of data is the timeline. The last time one of those cameras definitively photographed a living Sala in the wild was in 2013. Biology is operating in a vacuum. To study one of the largest land mammals found in the 20th century, researchers have to parse shadows and secondary traces rather than observe the animal itself. The difficulty in finding the Sala is compounded by a shrinking map. Logging, agricultural expansion, and infrastructure development have steadily fragmented the undisturbed ancient forest it requires to survive. But a far more immediate threat hides on the forest floor. Hunters set thousands of indiscriminate wire snares for the illegal bushmeat trade. The scale is industrial. Conservation teams routinely pull 30,000 wire loops from a single Sala habitat. The snare lines trap deer, civets, and wild pigs. The Sala is being systematically eradicated as accidental bycatch. The hunters are not looking for it, but the wires are erasing the population before science has a chance to understand it. In response to the snare lines, an international coalition of scientists and conservationists called the Sala Working Group is mounting an aggressive search for any remaining survivors. They deploy grids of motion-activated camera traps to ancient trees, scanning millions of hours of empty footage for any shadow of those straight, parallel horns. Recently, a 2023 study out of Princeton University provided a specific set of coordinates. The researchers identified remote, intact forest corridors that are largely clear of human snares, suggesting small, isolated populations might still exist there. It is a high-tech effort to locate an animal that has specialized in avoiding detection for millions of years. We are caught between 2 distinct realities. For centuries, oral folklore treated the Sala as a quiet, living neighbor in the forest. Today, modern science is struggling to find a single individual to prove the species is still alive. With no sightings in 10 years, researchers face the heavy possibility they are sweeping an empty forest. We cannot protect an animal we cannot locate. If the snares continue to work and cameras record nothing but mist, the Sala will slip from existence. An animal science barely verified in 1992 will vanish into myth without a single person there to watch it go.